Welcome back, you guys. This is your second stimulus check update and second stimulus package update for September the 11th. It's Friday, September the 11th. Sounds so weird just saying that date. Anyway, I'm going to jump right into it. I've got multiple updates that I want to share with you guys. Happy Friday. Quick question for you guys. How often, think about it, how often do you guys check your email? If you don't check your email very often, it may actually have cost you $1,200. I'm going to share exactly what I mean by that. $300 per week may have been missed. I want to make sure that no one's missing out on that. So I'll share the details on that in just a moment. Many arguments have gone back and forth in terms of who is to actually blame in terms of the next round of stimulus checks going out and the next stimulus package. Is it the House of Representatives? Is it the Senate? Recent information has actually come out suggesting that House Democrats are actually losing faith and are considering taking alternative action and potentially bypassing Nancy Pelosi's strategy on holding out for a big stimulus package. I'm going to share that information with you guys. And also, thousands of Americans will be receiving $1,800 next week. In fact, two $900 checks are actually scheduled to go out next week. I will break down that information. And for those of you guys who are brand new to the channel, my name is Ron. We cover all things personal finance on this channel. We cover investing, how to generate more money, and how to generate and build multiple streams of income. So if you're interested in any of that, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And of course, it does take a lot of effort for me to put these 10-minute shows together. A 10-minute show like this one probably takes me about 4 hours to put together. So if you guys are getting any value out of it, I would totally appreciate if you smash the like button for me. It really helps me out and it helps out the channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and do so. So anyway, let's jump right into it. Almost 1 month ago, President Trump signed off on multiple executive actions. And of those executive actions, one of those was the LWA, which is the Lost Wages Assistance Program. Basically, this was to bridge the gap between the disagreement that was taking place between the House and the Senate Republicans over whether or not unemployment insurance benefits should be extended and for how much. Anyway, this was originally supposed to be $400, but it ended up being $300 because many states were not able to cough up the extra $100 to make it the $400 that it was originally advertised as. However, New York City, or actually New York State, actually just started sending out these payments. There was a long process. Every state had to apply to be able to send these payments out to their residents. And at this point, $300 payments are actually scheduled to start going out for New Yorkers. Finally, I know, right? And it's been estimated that over 2.4 million residents are actually eligible for retroactive payments. Now, here's the thing. If you're not checking your email regularly, and this may not just apply for New Yorkers, I'm not sure how many other states, but I do know for a fact that New York actually falls into this category. So, if you're looking for your lost wages assistance benefits and you haven't seen them yet, you may want to check your email. Now, according to Labor Commissioner Roberta Reardon, she said that we're emailing all New Yorkers who are receiving benefits to inform them of their status and, if needed, provide information about certifying for the Lost Wages Assistance Program. She said that all New Yorkers should keep an eye out for these messages and, if an additional certification is required, respond immediately. She said that over 2 million residents are already pre-qualified in order to receive this extra $300 per week benefit. So those who are pre-qualified, those people won't have to take any further action. They will start receiving their payments as of next week. So that's going to be $300 per week. And they should actually expect an email and a text message from the State Department of Labor informing them of when they should expect that money. And so for those 435 people who will be receiving an email, additional action is required from them in order to receive this money. So if you ignored your email, you're going to miss out on $1,200 per month or about $300 per week as a result of that. So definitely check your email so you don't miss out on that money. Thousands of Americans are actually expected to receive over $1,800. But before we get into that, the big debate has been going back and forth between the House of Representatives and the Senate. Is it the House or is it the Senate for why we have not received another round of stimulus checks yet, in spite of the fact that both parties actually won another round of $1,200 stimulus payments? However, recent information has come out from House Democrats that they're actually losing faith behind House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's negotiation strategy on getting a larger package, which would include another round of $1,200 stimulus checks, as well as $600 per week federal unemployment benefits reinstated. And here's what they had to say about it. Some Democrats have actually suggested passing a smaller, more targeted virus relief bill in the House, which would actually have a much better chance of standing up in the Senate, or at least to restart the talks and the negotiations. But Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer both rejected the idea, saying that it weakens the Democrats' efforts to secure a broader relief package. This concern comes from a number of Democrats that are within the House of Representatives. Now, keep in mind, all 435 House of Representatives are up for re-election come November 3rd. And so many of these Democrats are actually incredibly anxious and nervous about being able to be re-elected. And they realize that if we don't get another round of stimulus checks, that their opportunity, their possibilities of being re-elected are thoroughly compromised. Now, up until this point, pretty much the House of Representative Democrats have been pretty much holding hands in lockstep in an attempt to basically hold out and basically request a very large stimulus package that included a lot of goodies. And of course, if you look through the bill, there was a lot of not so virus related recovery things in the bill, which kind of made it more expensive. But yesterday, Chuck Schumer joined a private call to pretty much attempt to reassure the very nervous House of Representatives Democrats that everything would be okay, and to reassure the nervous Democrats that the negotiations are not at all over. Chuck Schumer advised the House Democrats to hold tight during this time. In fact, he said, "I think they will come back again. The weaker they are, the better off we are." And that means the more heat they get and the more that Mnuchin is able to persuade Trump that if he doesn't get something done here, it's going to be certain that he won't be reelected. Now, this is a direct quote from Chuck Schumer. Now, it's been about 3 months since the House of Representatives passed the HEROES Act, and pretty much everyone has just about forgotten that that bill was passed. And so recently, during that private call that Chuck Schumer was on, House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer actually brought up the idea of potentially passing another virus relief bill. And when he made this suggestion, he was actually speaking on behalf of many of the nervous Democrats in the House of Representatives. And so the idea behind this smaller bill is kind of twofold. So on the one hand, it's kind of like, okay, most people have already forgotten that the House of Representatives did pass a HEROES Act. And so if we pass another bill that's more recent, it'll kind of be fresh on the minds of voters so that they can say, hey, you know, the House of Representatives, the Democrats are actually doing something, right? And so it might take a little bit of blame off of the House of Representatives. So you got to remember, these guys are up for re-election, so they're getting kind of nervous about how they appear in the public. You know, they want to look like they're doing something, even though we haven't seen anything yet, right? And then the other thing is that, okay, let's just say hypothetically that they did actually pass another smaller bill. It might actually have a better chance of being voted on and passed by the Senate as well. So, you know, there's that. However, Chuck Schumer quickly shut down this idea. He said, we have to wait for them to come to us. If they don't come to us, we will not get something your caucus will support. I mean, personally, I think it's really sad that the American people have to be caught up in between these two big parties that are just bickering. And it's kind of like, you know, at the end of the day, I think both parties actually want to help the American people, but at the same time, it's clear that they have their own agendas. And so my question at this point, and I almost feel like the answer is obvious, but do you guys think that, you know, their agenda will be compromised before ours in terms of, you know, taking care of the American people? I mean, the track record kind of speaks for itself, but I would love to hear back from you guys. And finally, some good news for Georgians. Many of you guys have commented in previous videos asking about unemployment for Georgia. What is going on with Georgia? I live in Georgia too. And so anyway, I've got some really good news for you guys. Thousands of Georgians are actually expected to receive $1,800 in the form of the extra unemployment insurance benefits starting next week. And so basically what's expected to happen as of next week, according to the Georgia Department of Labor, they indicate that 6 extra payments of $300 will actually be spread out over 2 days. And so basically the first payment is actually scheduled to be distributed early next week, probably Monday, Tuesday, and the second $900 payment will be issued at the end of the week. So $900 at the beginning of the week, $900 at the end of the week, for a total of $1,800. Now, according to the Georgia Department of Labor, anyone who already qualified to receive $100 or more of the state unemployment insurance benefits should see this money hit their account as of next week. So that's really, really good news. I'm keeping an eye out on any state updates with regard to these unemployment insurance benefits. A lot of concerns are coming up recently that the LWA, the Lost Wages Assistance Benefit funds, which are actually coming out of the $44 billion FEMA fund that was kind of allocated to provide this money is actually running out. So, I'm keeping a close watch to make sure that, before that money, or hopefully before that money runs out, I'll be able to give you guys some advance notice to kind of let you guys know what's happening before it happens. Now, keep in mind that these LWA unemployment insurance benefits were actually only supposed to be lasting for 6 weeks. So in fact, we've actually heard from several states that are actually announcing that they're going to stop paying out the $300 per week. And those states include Texas, Utah, Iowa, Arizona, Montana, and Tennessee. So if you live in those states, it looks like those $300 per week unemployment insurance benefits will be ending pretty soon. But anyway, guys, that's all for this stimulus check update and stimulus package update. I really hope that you guys got some value out of this video. If you guys have any questions for me, if you want me to look into anything for you, if you have questions about stimulus checks, investing, how to generate multiple streams of income, I would love to hear from you guys. So please drop me a comment down below. And of course, the Financial Freedom Program is coming out very, very soon. I cannot wait to share that with you guys. But anyway, it's Friday. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend going into the weekend. And if any new updates come out, I will definitely be sure to share those with you guys. And if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, guys.